You may not know where your marriage is leading you, but this one thing I want you to know, that regardless of the journey, you can rest assured that God is well ahead of you and has made many preparations before you arrive. Hello everyone, this is Rick Thomas. We're helping people live effective lives. This is Marriage Devotion number 28. The title of this devotion is God is There Before You Get There. Like a great friend waiting to receive you at the end of a long journey, the good Lord is always ahead of you and has a well-prepared ending in mind. The text of scripture that I want to share with you in this devotion is Exodus 1:5. It's a short sentence. It says this: all the descendants of Jacob were 70 persons, 70 people moving toward Egypt. The rest of the sentence says Joseph was already in Egypt. In Exodus, God was disrupting an entire nation. The Lord let the Israelites know that the times were changing. There was turmoil in their land. They were in dire straits. The famine had spread beyond discomfort, and their families were struggling to make ends meet. From their perspective, from that ground level view, they lived in the moment. And there was little hope for change that would make their future any better. It was not clear to them as to what they should do to resolve their problems. Again, from that ground level view, they had no idea of God's plans for them in Egypt. That's why in Exodus 1:5, that short verse I just shared with you, Moses is letting you know that the Israelites were in the process of leaving their homes and heading to an unknown place somewhere in Egypt. And though the text doesn't say, I'm sure they were struggling with the stirring of their nest, with God bringing this discomfort into their lives. He created an uncomfortable situation because he wrote a story that was far beyond anything that they could think or imagine. What was a time in your marriage where you distinctly felt that God was changing your circumstances for reasons that you just couldn't understand? From that ground level perspective, were you resting in the assurance that God was working a good plan for both of you? It was time for a lifestyle change. New people, new places, new things were the new normal for the Israelites, and there wasn't a thing they could do about it. The writer in Exodus inserted these 5 little words in the Bible. It says this: Joseph was already in Egypt. Joseph was already in Egypt. Imagine what it meant for Joseph to be already in Egypt, waiting to receive his dysfunctional family and confused friends. It took the mighty hand of God to rip Joseph away from his family so that he could reposition him in Egypt. God used a few Ishmaelite tradesmen. You remember when they sold him? He used an evil woman, Potiphar's wife. He used jail time. He used Pharaoh's favor. To think Joseph was already in Egypt, just that little sentence misses the profundity of what God did. It misses it by a zillion miles. Joseph's story is more mind-bending than just prepping a place for a few friends and family. God went to great lengths to get Joseph to Egypt because that is what God does for those he loves. God is always persevering with you, always planning, always working ahead of time so that when you arrive, you will be amazed because God was already there. Whether it's Joseph's family turmoil or your marriage problems, what you are experiencing on the ground level is not the same as what God is doing on the sovereign level. The Lord works in inter-family disputes in such a way that you'll never be able to figure it out until He lets you know. And when you do find out, it will blow your mind. This is day number 28. God is there before you get there. Now, with that in mind, let me ask a couple of questions. When you look at your marriage problems from the ground level, what do you see? How does it feel? What are you experiencing? Number two, when you think about your father planning, removing, repositioning, inserting things into your marriage, does it bring more hope than fear? Here's your practical suggestion. Would you take some time to read chapters 37 through 50? That's the story of Joseph. And as you're reading 37 through 50, keep Exodus 1:5 in view. Joseph was already there in Egypt. Ask the Father to ease your soul as you watch Him working, knowing that no matter where He takes your marriage, He will be waiting when you arrive. Thanks for watching.